Today, Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, declared that the government should outlaw cryptocurrencies, as you may have heard in the news. I'll demonstrate to you in this video the precise reasoning behind this man's statements. I want to show you exactly why JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon are terrified of the cryptocurrency sector, and I'm going to show you some footage that will demonstrate this. He is coming out with this story and pushing it because, in my opinion, it will all make sense to you and reveal the true nature of Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan. I also want to demonstrate to you why I believe there is a very good chance they will have more than one client in the future. Making cross-border payments with XRP ensures their longevity during this is going to be startling. As always, if you appreciate these videos, please consider supporting this channel. Please remember to subscribe to my channel and give this video a fast like. It will be of great assistance to me. I'm hoping you all like the material. Let's dive straight into the video so I can demonstrate everything for you. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon told the government today that cryptocurrencies need to be outlawed as soon as possible. As much as I can, but I also want to demonstrate to you why he is saying this right now. I'm showing you this clip because I want to use a different clip as the front runner. What Jamie Dimon says here, while stunning, actually doesn't matter because if you grasp the background of why he is being compelled to push this story forward, it will be quite clear to you why he is pushing this narrative ahead. You'll see that none of what he's saying is grounded in fact, and indeed, before playing you the footage, he is merely attempting to prevent any interruption to his own company. I would like you to be aware that the man who spoke in the first this isn't just some dude talking. The person in the clip is Brian Brooks, a former government employee who worked at the OCC, which is effectively the head of banks. Is someone with extensive knowledge of regulations, and he's going to tell you that JP Morgan is in a panic, isn't he? In addition to attempting to stop itself from being upended by the most potent financial technology on the planet right now, the man seated next to Brian Brooks in this video is a Ripple member. Watch this video. It will provide you with all the information you require. Cryptocurrency is a poor moniker. It does not aim to replace currency, despite what is happening with stories nowadays. The goal of cryptocurrency is to displace banks. The principal activities of banks since the 1300s have completely disappeared. And just to be clear, that means that the reason we even have banks today, which date back to approximately 1340 in Italy, is that a series of accounting innovations made it possible for banks to act as reliable middlemen between parties who owed each other money earlier. Essentially, I would write you a note, promising to pay you money, and you would put it in your pocket to see if anyone else would notice. This is why we call it discounting notes, and that's how banks got started. And it seemed as though you were relieved of that task since we would handle it for you. However, you will have to pay us to perform the necessary role of needing a reliable middleman to keep track of account ledgers and determine whether or not I owe Brooks money. Or is there money I owe Brooks? As it happens, that function is no longer required. In the same manner that we no longer require postal clerks, humans I can instantly and for free send you an email. And that concludes the post. I apologize, but that is the reality of the situation. The function will go, leaving banks with only the high-value, structured services that you already know. You know, investment advisory for finance. Everything that contributes to the functioning of a dynamic economy. People are still needed. It takes a lot of ingenuity to accomplish that. Occurring in the financial sector, yet the foundation of banking is what powers the majority of their. Because of this, revenue is not necessary, as I mentioned to one of the organizers even before we set up this panel. Cryptocurrency is a terrible name. It does not aim to replace money. The goal of cryptocurrency is to displace banks. Even if this panel holds no significance for you. But you must realize that I have always been adamantly opposed to cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Highlighted that illicit drug traffickers are the only real-world application for it. Opposition to money-laying tax evasion is one use case since, as you indicated, it doesn't go through, it isn't entirely anonymous, and money can be moved instantly. Since your customers have sanctioned them for years, all of these systems have been developed over time. If I were the government, I would shut it down, all right? That, in my opinion, makes it very evident why JP Morgan is now stating that we need to stop using this technology. They are being disrupted in real time, and they are merely attempting to preserve their own company. It's comical, in my opinion, when you truly consider what's going on. The primary justification they consistently offer for the necessity of outlawing cryptocurrencies is that they are being used to fund specified activities. Guys, throughout the past few years, I've noticed that the banking sector has advanced significantly, more than any other cryptocurrency, to fund illicit activity. To date, they have funded over $200 billion in illicit activity, and these institutions have been involved in over 395 legal cases in an attempt to claim that everything is cryptocurrency. All of it is crypto, which is meaningless. But what we're witnessing is deflection. These large banks are just as much a part of the issue as cryptocurrencies are. They are merely trying to change the focus to cryptocurrencies because they believe it will be beneficial. Draw attention to themselves and their actions. Guys, these folks are total phonies. They are only attempting to dispel this myth because, as Brian Brooks stated, technology is upending their industry, stealing their profits, and making it impossible for them to compete technologically. Their only option is to beg. Authorities will close it down. Governments will make an effort to stop technology from upending them, but they are powerless to do so. With the Ripple, the SEC attempted to do this. If they fail, the SEC countless past attempts to do this have failed, but if technology is going to prevail, it will always overcome all of the legacies. Technology will eventually disrupt this industry. We have already seen this happen with e-commerce, the internet, and taxis. And I'm going to experience it too. Their money is being used by these banks. They are attempting to delay their demise by manipulating their regulators, but it is inevitable. The funny thing about all of this is that JP Morgan acknowledged in an internal report that XRP is likely to see significant adoption if Ripple prevails over the SEC in court. They have also been closely following Ripple and XRP for a very long time. In fact, it frequently comes up in internal memos. In the early going, they met with Brad Garlinghouse, most likely to discuss purchasing Ripple and attempting to implement their technology. Honest men, JP Morgan is seeing real-time disruptions from this technology and global upheavals, which is why they are experiencing terror. They are completely aware of this, as evidenced by the Jamie Dimon clip. If this were something they could just brush off and ignore, they wouldn't be asking for the government to step in and put a stop to it. They cannot afford to lose, since a significant portion of what they do in the current financial system will be rendered completely useless by cryptocurrencies. That company, folks, is the reason I see Ripple in such a special position going forward. They are among the few that are collaborating with these legacy institutions and warning them that if they don't adopt this technology, they will be left behind, and we will help propel them into this new space-age economy. Gentlemen, this is exactly what these institutions will require, which is why JP Morgan predicted that XRP will see tremendous uptake if Ripple prevails over the SEC in court. The regulators were unable to eliminate XRP or Ripple, and now Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan are fully aware that this technology will persist and that they will be compelled to embrace it in its entirety. This is extremely optimistic news. I believe that many people say, "Oh, this is bad," after watching the Jamie Dimon footage. They're stepping it up. They are projecting these anxieties because they know what is coming. They are terrified and desperate, which is why they are trying to prohibit it, which is never going to happen, and they are never going to win those cases in court. I want to complete this video, then discuss one final point, which is very crucial because so many people are asking when XRP will move. What time will XRP move? Is XRP trailing behind Bitcoin when it's just Bitcoin? First of all, guys, that's just how things go. Every time, but simply have a look. Based on this chart, which I believe is quite significant, the altcoin market as a whole appears to be poised for explosive growth. Moving into price discovery, you'll notice that this chart closely resembles what happened to Bitcoin. It dropped from the peak in 2021 to 2022, formed a really solid base in 2022 to 2023, and now appears to be following Bitcoin to its all-time highs in 2024. Guys, this is already where Bitcoin is. Already torn, but what is known is that altcoins follow. I believe it's critical to recognize that this has happened every time these market cycles have occurred. Before now, Bitcoin was LED, and the industry as a whole followed suit. Big money is the reason behind this. Floods into the Bitcoin market, with people swarming for the huge money, which then searches for the next opportunity. Guys, are the next coins on the list? The sequence in which these events are occurring is normal for the course. This is always what happens every time it happens. Therefore, no one should be alarmed by it. Long term, I believe, we're going to break free from these cycles that keep repeating in the same sequence, and utility will ultimately prevail. Earlier today, it was only recently that I learned that IBM collaborates with Mataco, a cryptocurrency business that Ripple recently bought. Custody, gentlemen, these are the kinds of developments that, in my opinion, will lead the market in the long run, but for the time being, the market is still very speculative, and Bitcoin is still leading the way, leading the rest of the industry. This kind of news will eventually drive the market. We're not there yet, guys, but that doesn't mean profits aren't on the horizon. Bitcoin appears to be setting the example for other cryptocurrencies, so I wouldn't worry too much if we don't go forward just yet. It appears to me that everything is proceeding exactly as we had anticipated. I want to thank all of the guys for coming. If you did produce this update, I hope you enjoyed it.